Good morning, everyone. Or as we say, grand rising, everyone. So welcome to today's celebration. And indeed, it will be a celebration, as you will see as it unfolds this morning. So I'm going to ask you to just join me in this opening affirmative prayer. So as we breathe, we recognize that which is breathing each and every one of us. We know it is the living Spirit Almighty. We know that this morning, Spirit is in this place. So we open our hearts, we open our minds to Spirit this morning. And I know our speaker this morning, Jennifer, allows herself to be a clear and open channel for the expression of Spirit this morning. So I know that every word she speaks is a word that is divine in origin. And I know as we open our hearts, open our minds, our consciousness expands into a greater awareness of who we are and why we are on this journey together. So I know that this morning's experience is inspiring, it's uplifting, and I know that everyone who participates is blessed, and it's a blessing to everyone they meet. So I can declare this morning's service good and very, very good. So with thanks, I release these words now unto that law which makes it so, and so it is. So we start this morning with a chant, a very simple chant, the Namaste chant. And the words are on the screen.
The Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. Namaste. 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 The Christ in me salutes the Christ in you. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So we're going to do the affirmation of divine love. And it's on the screen. So divine love is doing its perfect work here and now.
Divine love harmonizes.
Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for this church now. Divine love is now victorious, and so it is. So this morning we have an inspirational reading, and it's from the Sands of Mind magazine, the Guide for Spiritual Living, and it's from December 2023. And it's written by Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse. And the epigraph states, if we did the things we are really capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. And that is from Thomas Edison. And the epigraph from the Science of Mind states, I live in an eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Peace and joy accompany me. Happiness and wholeness fills my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. Living in infinite possibilities from an endless reservoir of potential means we are never forced to think, say, or do anything. We are always free to choose a thought, a direction, an outcome, or any other expression at any time. Of course, this doesn't mean that we do. Many of us make choices based on what we have already experienced. This is because we know with some degree of certainty how those choices will turn out. We tend to fear the unknown, and for this reason, we are much less willing to choose an endeavor that has an unknown outcome. As students of the Science of Mind, we are called to step outside of these restrictive bonds and see beyond the familiar, so as to choose from a greater selection of possibilities. This does not guarantee success, but it assures that some new outcome emerges. Whatever results occur from our choices, we surely will learn and grow in consciousness. This ultimately makes us wiser and clearer in the applications of our enduring spiritual principles. I invite you to be bold and make choices that are new and bigger than what you have chosen in the past. Then watch as the law manifests something amazing. So I want you to affirm with me today. Today I create something new and amazing in my life. Today I create something new and amazing in my life. Yes, and so it is. So we're not going to ask the youth, children, and their teachers to come forward. Somebody's going to light the candle.
I wonder who.
Chevany.
of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them.
So we're going to do the blessing of children. We
We
love
love
you.
you.
We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you and see you as shining lights unto your world. God is blessing you now, and so it is. So we're going to do the mission song, and if spirit moves you, just rock. So, are there any first-time guests visiting with us today? Please stand so that we can officially welcome you. Okay. Not seeing any first-timers in the sanctuary. If first-timers are online, you can just make it known in the chat. And we salute the Christ in you. So now for the reminders, the power of storytelling and book signing is this evening, and join Reverend Michelle Senegal and guest Professor Opal Palmer Adisa today at 4 p.m. in the Temple of Light bookstore. The moderator will be T.K. Dawkins. So come and enjoy the conversation and the interaction this evening at 4. Now, spiritual mind healing service, Practitioner Steve Golden will be on this Tuesday at 6 p.m. for an insightful healing conversation. And the Zoom link will be sent by email, and you can also join us on YouTube. Confidential prayer requests for Reverend Michelle's eyes only. So please go to prayer.templeoflightcsl.org to put in your prayer requests. And in addition, you can place prayer requests in a box in the vestibule for the attention of a practitioner. And you can speak with one immediately after our service. And today, Practitioner Sandra Cooper is on duty. And the number to call is 876-289-0907. This Thursday at 6 p.m., join Reverend Michelle, who will be interviewing Reverend D. Jacqueline Edwards on Lifeline. Reverend D. Jacqueline is the initiator and past chair of the CSL Diversity and Inclusion Commission. So be sure to join us on YouTube Live this Thursday at 6 p.m. And always, if you wish to support our ministry financially, kindly visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, which has our banking details. Thank you for your generosity. So I'm going to ask you now to just stand as we do the prayer of our center. It's on the board. Sorry, the wall. The prayer of our center. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. So we're going to do our praise song, God Working, by Practitioner, written music and words by Practitioner Steve Golden. As you sit, I'm just going to ask you just to relax. You know? And we're going to do 3 breaths on the first as we inhale and exhale. We just release all that no longer serves us. And let us inhale. And as we exhale, we just become present here and now. And again, as we inhale, and as we exhale, we just allow ourselves to be open and receptive. Open and receptive to Spirit this morning. So I know that Spirit incarnated itself as each and every one of us. Perfect, whole, and complete. There's a perfect blueprint at the center of all creation. So today I know we allow this perfection, this completeness to manifest itself in all areas of life. And I know that anything unlike this wholeness, this completeness, is now dissipated. And perfect health now unfolds in all aspects of our being. So I'm just going to ask us to just allow this perfection, this wholeness, this completeness to permeate our hearts and our consciousness. As together we chant, God is health. So as we go into the stillness, we experience peace. That peace that passeth all of our understanding. That peace which is God. In this peace, all is well. In this peace, we experience the gentleness of spirit. So we just allow this peace to fill our hearts, to fill our minds, and together we chant, God is peace.
God is peace, that peace surrounds me. In that peace, I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within. Peace is mine, and all is well. God is peace, pure peace. God is peace, sweet peace. That peace is mine, and all is well.
So in this peace, we just allow spirit to give itself completely, to know itself as each and every one of us. And in this consciousness, we know that there are no strangers. We have no enemies. Everyone is family. Everyone is a friend to me. So in this oneness of love, we just allow love to be the way of our hearts and the heart of our way. We allow ourselves to be love in perfect expression. And together we chant, God is love.
God is love, and love surrounds me. In that love, I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within. Love is mine, and all is well. God is love, pure love. God is love,
And so it is.
So it is.
So as we bring our awareness back into the sanctuary and to where we are, we're going to do our first song this morning. It's one of my favorite songs. It's by my favorite artist, Bob Marley. So we're going to stand and sing Three Little Birds. Oh boy. One good thing about music, reggae music, when it hits, you feel no
Feel no
pain.
pain.
You just feel good, you know. And in this awareness of feeling good this morning, it is my privilege to announce our speaker this morning, Practitioner Jennifer Livingstone, who, you know what we call her? Livy Jen. So you know what says, lively up yourself this morning. Yeah, man. All right. What a Livy Jen this morning.
Thank you, Vance. Let me just get ready. Now we're good. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everyone. Well, let me also add my own words of welcome to all of you and to those tuned in to the service on our live stream this morning. It is truly a pleasure to be sharing with you in the capacity of speaker this morning on this Practitioner Sunday. And I want to thank Vance for setting the stage with those beautiful affirmative prayers. As we conclude our series on divine discomfort, our theme for the month of February, I want to remind you of the topics covered so far. So we got started with lessons in uncomfortability, all about embracing change, and this was followed by where comfort ends, transformation begins, being fully present to the changes. And then we moved on to pain pushes until vision pulls. We learned about being able to better adapt to our changes. Today, we will wrap up the series with the topic, Discomfort is the least of our concern. Who remembers the exercise that we had to do at the start of the first talk? Well, Reverend Michelle, you gave the exercise, so you should remember. Anyway, I saw a hand. Doug put his hand up. Yes, we had to fold our arms, and then we had to fold them in the opposite directions. And for me, my default position was left arm over right. But I had to deliberately think about doing right arm over left in order to go in the opposite directions. But after a couple of tries, it became easier. But I would still have to think about it. And why was that again? She said, because it takes us doing the same thing over and over 36 times before the neural network in our brains would form a new habit. That's a lot of doing. And remember, if we missed one, we would have to start all over again. Yeah. However, as we delve into this morning's topic, I want to remind us that we are always moving through changes. And oftentimes, it is that seeming ending that opens us up to new beginnings. In the April 2020 edition of our Science of Mind magazine Guide for Spiritual Living, practitioner Kelly Robbins writes in an article entitled Passionately Embrace New Beginnings, Navigate Smooth Ending, states, endings aren't always as upbeat as new beginnings, so we tend to avoid them. The fact that what once worked no longer does can cause confusion and even anger or frustration in the most spiritual amongst us. She goes on to say, if you had a constant at one time that is no longer, you might examine your awareness of something different going on and calmly take a moment to assess the situation. But we typically don't do that. We are more likely to ignore or avoid being uncomfortable due to our busy schedule or other day-to-day distractions. Lessons in uncomfortability. But Robbins further states, the longer we wait, the more the discomfort of change can bring up strong emotions of fear, anxiety, and frustrations. We keep making the same choices we always have, instead of changing our actions to allow for a smooth ending, because we aren't even conscious an ending is taking place. You see, friends, discomfort is the least of our concern, for the place for us to begin is through an understanding of spiritual laws, the laws governing the universe and our relationship to it. In this regard, when we are navigating our way through changes, the law of compensation applies. And as defined by the Dictionary of New Thought, it is that principle through which one receives the equivalent for that which one has expended. Well, while you may not be as familiar with this law, you are familiar with the law of cause and effect, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. And which operates like the law of compensation to supply the equal of that which has been given. Mm-hmm. As we give full expression to life in the giving of ourselves, so life returns to us by pouring forth its gift through various channels. In other words, it is the order of nature to grow and expand. So just as a caterpillar must go through the process of metamorphosis before it changes into a butterfly, we too have to let go of the old to make room for the new. And this process of metamorphosis is one example that depicts that where comfort ends, transformation begins. So now let's do a little exercise. I invite you to close your eyes for a few moments. Shut out any distractions and think of a time in your life when you felt the worst. Perhaps you were feeling sick, depressed, or anxious, or lonely. And if you're like most people, you wanted to stay in bed or veg out in front of the TV. And from the outside, you might have looked comfortable, but you were actually more than miserable. So let's stay with this memory for a bit. So having pulled up that memory, now I want you to think of a time when you felt most fully alive. It might have been when you created something beautiful, accomplished a major goal, or made a life-altering connection with someone. Perhaps you hiked to the top of a mountain and felt like you could see the whole world. The joy you experienced came as a result of taking a risk. Now revel in that memory for a while. It took something out of you, and the fulfillment you received in return was all the more valuable because of how uncomfortable you had been along the way. So having basked in that feeling of joy, you may now open your eyes and be fully present here and now. So how did that make you feel? Anybody? I can take one or two responses.
The first visualization made me feel really
Yeah, weighted down is one response. Anyone else want to share?
Couldn't help but smile after the second visualization.
You had a smile. Yes.
After the second.
After the second one. We all did. It's always a good feeling when you pull up a good memory and it brings you back to a time when you had accomplished something awesome. But yet, very often we resist our personal expansion. And this can show up, for instance, when we resist parting with old friends, or we hang on to jobs we don't like, or beliefs that no longer are true for us. In my own experience, I can recall times when I stayed longer than needed in a job that I didn't like because it felt like I needed the paycheck, or I didn't want to seem disloyal, or, if I gave it up, what would they think of me? But yet, in giving it up, the universe opened up even better opportunities for me. Friends, Dr. Ernest Holmes, founder of our Science of Mind teaching, states in our textbook on page 385 that nature demands the change in order that we may advance. And when the change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lips and a song in the heart. End quote. The awareness that something needs to change and making the decision to change is our way of consciously using the law of compensation. And author Ayanna Van Zandt, in her book, Acts of Faith for Daily Meditations for People of Color, writes, "We always want to do the right thing, but we do the wrong thing when we do not make a decision about what to do. Decisions have power, decisions have force. They usually take us to the exact place we need to be, exactly the way we need to get there. And when we weigh what we want against what we will have to do, a decision can be an effortless event. The freedom from making a decision can only come after we have made the decision." End quote. However, when the decision is calling us into personal expansion, we are often resistant And the most overwhelming part in consciously working with the law, as we described in the law of compensation, is knowing where to start and taking the first step. It begins with being aware that you want a new beginning, or that you're willing to let go of the pain that you may be experiencing. You see, pain pushes until vision pulls. The awareness that something needs to change is that which will allow you to see what needs to end so that you can step into the new you choose to create. So let us affirm together. I'll read it once. I am open to new beginnings. I fully embrace all the good that the universe has in store for me. Together, I am open to new beginnings. I fully embrace all the good that the universe has in store for me now. Yes. Friends, many of us can recall situations in our own experience in which we have had to adapt and change. And right here at the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living, we are learning to adapt and change as we embrace our new senior minister and work together towards building our community. Truly, this is a time of renewal and rebirth. So we must also take thought of the teachings of Jesus, the Master Teacher, as stated in Romans 12, verse 2, and it reads, International Standard Version, do not be conformed to this world, but continuously be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Yes, with a renewed mindset, we are able to adapt to life's changes. So when divine discomfort sets in, know that it's calling you into your greater yet to be, in which you have a decision to make. And so here are 3 steps that can help you to make your decision. Step 1, choice. Stand in the power that you always have a choice. Even when you don't see one, the options are always there. You may not like the options, but you do have them. Your job is to choose. Step 2, commitment. Many of us have a problem with this word, but be committed to not only following through with your choice, but to making it a success. Know that the universe is supporting your growth and expansion. This will help you stay true to your commitment. And step 3, urgency. Cultivate and maintain a sense of urgency about your choice. Sometimes we delay to our detriment. You need to move swiftly and with determination. Urgency is something that comes from within, and it is your job to cultivate it within yourself. Finally, it is important for you to remember that the energy that is God is always expanding and reaching for your highest good. It is up to you to consciously take steps to grow in order for that good to come in. So you see, friends, discomfort is the least of our concern. For it was Ralph Waldo Emerson who said, the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. Namaste.
Wow.
Did we applause?
I didn't hear any.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that wonderful talk. Tell us to decide to be committed with urgency to our greater yet to be, whatever discomfort we may be feeling. Wonderful, Jennifer, wonderful. Practitioner Steve, musical item.
There is a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. This could be the first trumpet, but it won't be the last. Many more don't have to suffer. Many more don't have to die. Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they seem to be. I won't tell no lie. One and all got to face reality now. Though I try to find the answers to all the questions we ask, still I know it's impossible if we keep living in the past. Won't tell no lie. There is a natural mystic blowing through the Feel it in the one drop, yet we still find time to rock, making a one-stop. The generation gap, don't feel this drum beat as it beats within, playing a rhythm, resisting against the system. Ooh-wee. I know Jah never let us down. I know Jah never let us down. Here's one. They make the world so hard every day. People are fighting. Why make the world so hard every day? People are dying. Dread, 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 all dread, 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 dread. We want no more dread. We want to give us the teaching of His Majesty, 'cause we don't want no other philosophy but sense of mind. Give us the teachings of His Majesty. We don't want no other philosophy. So feel it in the one drop, and we still find time to rock, making a one-stop. The generation gap, so feel this drum beat as it beats within, playing a rhythm, fighting against ism and schism. Sing, I know Jah never let us down. Whether we're right or wrong, repeat that. I know Jah never let us down. So no more, no more dread, 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 nothing to dread, 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 dread,
give it up for musician, practitioner Steve Golding and Dale Martin. Thank you, thank you.
With a few surprises, Ardale was hearing some of these things for the first time.
Well, hey, what can I tell you? The more the merrier. Thank you so much. That is such a treat. And by now, I think you should have all figured out that we're winding up Reggae Month, and so it's Practitioner Sunday, and we're honoring Reggae Month today, okay? Yeah. So if you feel to move, and I saw a lot of us moving in the audience, just continue to move your feet. Whatever, any part of you that can move, let's move it. Anyway, it's the music, okay? Put it down to that. I'd just like to invite you to stand for the prayer of Jamaica. As together we say, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women. The troops of light is set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Thank you, friends. I'm going to invite you to sit for a moment, please, before we do our love offering blessing. And so I have a special announcement that I want to share with you. So friends, some of you may know that last week I attended the CSL convention in Charleston, South Carolina, with Reverend Michelle and Reverend Ann. And the theme for the conference was lighting the way to love, soul to soul to soul. And in time you'll hear more about this convention. And we here at Temple often say that we are a beacon of light in the world. Well, we have expanded that light through our own Reverend Michelle, who made a choice to serve and was elected once again to the Ministers' Council of CSL. Let's give it up. Woo! Woo! And friends, not only was she elected, she received the most votes, so she's going to serve a 3-year term. Woo! So, you know what that means? That not only does the Temple of Light has a seat at the table, we have a voice in the room. Okay. So, congratulations, Reverend Michelle. Thank you so much. And in that, knowing that we are expanding our reach, then I'll invite you to take your loving gifts into your hands to continue to support this work as we say our love offering blessing. Words on screen. Together. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. And today, I'll be giving the thanks for the love offering and our closing affirmative prayer, because we're going to close out It's Reggae Month with our second hymn. So, please join. Yes, before I do that, I'd also like to extend thanks to Sean, who did our flowers this morning. And I want to thank the tech team, TTs. And I also want to thank our musicians again and everybody who made this service this morning such a wonderful experience for us all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And in this consciousness of thanks, please join me as we give thanks to that awesome power and presence, that which created each one of us out of itself and called it good. We give thanks for the gifts that will come into the center this morning, for those online who have given, for those in the sanctuary. We know that they're prospered and blessed as these gifts continue to give and to spread this word of truth for our center, the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. And so I know for each one of us that has participated in this morning's experience, which we call a Practitioner Sunday, that truly we are blessed. We are blessed beyond measure, and we know that every decision that we have to make, we make them in the assurance that all is well. And so as we leave from this service, we take this consciousness with us. We make wise choices. We are committed to seeing them through, and we act with a sense of urgency. I know that this week unfolds perfectly and in order for every person within the sound of my voice, and all the activity associated with this coming week. I know that everything goes well for our beloved island, Jamaica. I truly give thanks as I release this word to that infinite law of mind that has already said yes. Thank you, God, that this is so now. And together, so it is. So, please stand and join me in our second and final hymn selection this morning, One Love.
Again. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and
together this evening at 4 for the power of storytelling. See you. Thank you. Have a great week.